Hey guys, my name is Aijalonwallace and I talk about recruitment, entrepreneurship, and traveling. Today we're going to be talking about becoming an IT recruiter, or why you should become an IT recruiter, okay? So look, just to jump straight into it, right now, of course, you guys know a lot's going on in the world today, and a lot of people are looking for new careers, but becoming an IT recruiter is probably one of the best jobs in the world, if I could be honest. If you're working for an agency or you're thinking about starting your own business potentially as well. IT recruitment is a booming industry, and most importantly, you can make a lot of money in this field depending on your niche and depending on the things that you may specialize in as well. So, if you are interviewing for an IT recruitment role, one of the things you probably want to do is just make sure you're doing your research on that company. And if there's any details in the job description about what type of IT recruitment you're going to be doing, I would just look up a few things on YouTube. You do not need to be an expert in IT to become an IT recruiter. You will get taught, you will learn as long as you go. When I started doing IT recruitment, I knew nothing about the industry, but I just knew that I had to start making a lot of things happen for myself to get my sales up. So my manager, of course, walked me through the basics of what a front end, what a back end engineer was, and what a full stack engineer was. What are the difference between mobile developers, such as iOS developers, Android developers, React Native. Most of these things you're gonna be familiar. You're gonna be familiar to some of these words, so you're gonna catch on pretty easy. But I do want to emphasize that you do not need to be a specialist as an IT recruitment. Being an IT recruitment is fun. It's cool. There's so many different niches within recruitment, and it can sound boring sometimes when you're telling people what you do. If you're working in government or healthcare, because it's usually the same sometimes. But with IT, you're able to talk about the new and exciting technologies, the AI projects, the machine learning projects, and it's great because you get you get this information before it hits the market when you start working with cool, awesome startup companies maybe, or even if you're working with large companies, because being that you are the recruiter, a lot of clients need to let you know about some of the projects that they're going to be working on within the first, second, or third quarter, depending on the situation. Becoming an IT recruiter is just like being a full-time entrepreneur. You will be put in situations where you may have to bring on your own clients, and you may have to go out there and find your own candidates as well when you're trying to build your company and build your desk. So these are terms that we use in the recruitment space. Building your desk means that you're building your book of clients and you're building your book of candidates as well, so you can start having a pipeline as you continue to grow. The great thing about the IT recruitment industry is the fees. So as you know, as recruiters, we charge a percentage based off the candidate's salary. So for example, if our candidate is making $100,000 a year, we may charge the client 20% based off of that candidate's salary, and we would get a $20,000 fee. Right? And usually that is paid out 30 days after the candidate start. Yes. So that's how much it can be. Now, you may have to chop up that fee if you're working for an agency. You may only see $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 of that if you're working for an agency. But if you work for yourself, you'll see it all. And I do teach you how to start. I have an online course. You can check it out below if you want to learn how to start your own staffing and recruitment company. But let's get back to the topic. So the fees are great. IT recruitment is one of the only industries I truly believe that you can make six figures within 6 months. The money is very lucrative. Working for yourself and working for an agency, depending on what it's like. The day in the life is never the same as well. You're gonna have a lot of ups. You're gonna have a lot of downs, because we work in the business of sales. We work in the business of people, and we're trying to of course control and manage a lot of emotions and decisions to get deals closed. A lot of things can happen sometimes when you work in this space. You may be working on a job, for example, and a competitor may offer your candidate more money, and your client may not be able to meet that match, and you may lose the job. And some days you may get two people jobs at the end of the day. But of course, it's a really interesting industry. What I love about the IT recruitment industry so much is that it's so diversified that you can switch up your industry at any time that you want to. So if you want to do, for example, you want to do mobile developers, and then potentially you want to do, you may want to, you may say, oh, I'm a little tired of this. I think I want to switch it up. You can shoot over to doing AI, you can do data science, you can do BI, you can do government as well, you can do industries as well. Sometimes, depending on the agency that you work in, they may have you focus on the private sector or the commercial sector, or they could potentially have you focus on the startup sector. I personally love working with startups because, you know, you get to talk directly to hiring managers and the CEOs, and it's just a much easier process than going through the politics with those big organizations. You know, the great thing as well about being an IT recruiter, if you are working inside of an agency, is the people that you're working with. I mean, IT, you know, recruiters in general, we're very relaxed. If you've seen the movie, you know, Wolf of Wall Street, how people are in the office, you know, it's kind of like that sometimes, depending on the company you with. When I used to work for an agency, I mean, we joked a lot. Usually in recruitment, you have to sit across from your colleagues, desk to desk. So you all are there to, you know, you're talking to each other all day, you're helping each other, you all making money. But at the end of the day, it is a sales job. It's all about, you know, making that dollar, making that coin, and making things happen for yourself while you're trying to, you know, of course, once again, grow your desk. Now, the great thing about, you know, being an IT recruiter is that, you know, your salary can easily increase, your commission can easily increase every quarter, every year, depending on your performance. And the great thing about being a recruiter is that, you know, IT recruiter in general, is that it's a laptop lifestyle. So, you know, with COVID happening and everything, you know, COVID didn't stop us as recruiters, you know, from the agency or just as, you know, someone who works for themselves at all. If anything, we got more jobs, we got more opportunities, and we just still had to work from our, you know, our laptop and make things happen. So if you are in a situation next year, as we don't know what's going to be happening with this Omicron variant, or, you know, even if the Omega variant hits next year, you know, you could still be in a situation where you still most likely will have your job. And that's the great thing about, you know, this industry, is the security, but also the diversity. Once again, like, you know, if your jobs does go cold, you're able to jump into another niche or another field and still be able to make money and bring it home for yourself. But I love the freedom that comes with this job, especially being that I work for myself. Like I said, this is a laptop lifestyle. As you guys know, and you follow my channel, I moved to Brazil. You know, so I'm here working in Rio de Janeiro. I mean, just to, you know, I don't like mess it up. I'm recording on my phone, but just to show you my view real quick. You know, because I know you guys, I don't edit these videos. I'm like, man, I want to get more videos out to you faster. So I'm just like, let me show you a little view. But of course, this is me working from the office. All right, we're going to turn the camera back around and we're going to get right back to it real quick. Okay, so, you know, so that's another beautiful thing. You can travel around the world with this position. IT recruiters are high in demand, especially the good ones at the end of the day. But like I said, once again, you do not need to know tech to be a technical recruiter at all. You can teach yourself everything pretty much on YouTube. And just remember that our job is to qualify people, scout them out, and send them over to the hiring managers. It's the hiring managers' jobs to vet them out, to make sure they actually know what they're talking about and they know what they're saying, you know. But just make sure you do your research. I always tell the joke about, you know, there was a human resource person worked for a company, and, you know, one of my colleagues had asked her, you know, she was working on a couple IT jobs. And, you know, in IT, when we talk about languages, we talk about, you know, the type of coding languages you're using. So if you're using Java, C#, you know, Python, you know. And so my colleague asked the person, you know, what languages are you looking for? And the lady said English. And, you know, it was just like, whoa, how did you get this job? And you'll be surprised at how sometimes how many, you know, human resource people don't know that much about the tech industry because they're not really paid to, you know, source or recruit. So just make sure you know your stuff. You want to know the difference between what Java is and JavaScript is. You know, so you just want to make sure you know it and that you're on top of it at the end of the day. And you're trying to, of course, most importantly, grow your desk and grow and make your money. Now, in IT recruitment, you usually see mostly perm jobs versus contract jobs. So permanent jobs is when you're hiring people for full-time positions and you only get paid a one-off fee. Contract jobs is when someone is working on a 6 to 3 month or 12-month term, and you're getting paid weekly or bi-weekly. Often in IT, you see more perm than you do see contract, and often in like healthcare, you see more contract than you do see more perm. But you're starting to see more perm now with healthcare, with everything going on. Listen, that's where I'm going to leave it at right now. If you got any questions, put them in the comments below. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I'm constantly putting out free content. Make sure you guys grab my free ebook, and I'm also offering a free training to teach you a few things about how to start your own staffing recruitment, recruitment company. So look at the links down below. Let me know if you have any questions. Subscribe to the channel. Can't wait to see you guys soon.